Is it going in?
Yeah, going in. Started watching clock, very hot.
Yeah. All right, just left the shop. There is the mileage on the odometer. And we're gonna see, it says you gotta drive 20 miles at least. So let's see what happens. I am just someone who was having another transmission issue when I decided to try Instant Shudder Fixx. It has worked for me so far, but you cannot take my blog or this vlog as direct advice, nor hold me accountable for anything that goes on with your vehicle. This video, as well as all of the other videos covering Instant Shudder Fixx, are an honest account of my experience with it. I am not paid by LubeGuard or Instant Shudder Fixx or anyone else for making any of these videos. This is my 2015 Lincoln Navigator L. I purchased it in October of 2018 with 38,000 miles on the odometer. At the time of posting this video, the odometer currently reads somewhere around 261,800 miles. I have accumulated the majority of these miles through my limo business. And frankly, if it weren't for the fact that I need to keep up with the demands of my clientele, I would still be driving them in it. For the past 7 years, the interior as well as the exterior have held up remarkably well. However, where this vehicle falls short is the lack of technology, like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Also, with the 3 refreshes to the Lincoln Navigator since the release of this 2015 model, it was starting to look very dated. During my ownership of this vehicle, I have endured many issues, but nothing like the issues I've had with the transmission. Unlike all of my vehicles before this one, I would typically flush the transmission every 60,000 miles. However, when I took this vehicle in for service around 60,000 miles, the dealership told me there was lifetime fluid in the transmission and that I didn't need to change it. This obviously was a lie, and by the time I realized it, I had around 109,000 miles of heavy driving on my odometer. So, on October 15th, 2020, I went to a trusted mechanic and asked him to put Instant Shudder Fixx in my transmission. I know many of you have been waiting for my complete service history covering my last 7.5 years of ownership. I've been working on it while I've been editing this video, and believe me, there is a lot to cover. Just hang in there, it's almost ready. You want it, you got it. There it is. We have made it. 30,000 miles with the Instant Shudder Fixx. We started at 187,951.8. Here we go. Here's the deal. Here's what happened. The shutter came back, unfortunately. It's mainly in 5th and 6th gear. So I decided, let's just get all the fluid out and start over. So that's what I did. I did a drain and refill. I put Valvoline automatic transmission fluid in here. That's what the guy wanted to do. He didn't want to listen to me about putting the Ford stuff in. Once again, my goal is to make it to 210,000 miles and beyond, really. But if I could just get 210,000 miles, I'll be able to say that Instant Shudder Fixx gave me another 100,000 miles. But I won't be able to say that if I don't hurry up and add more Instant Shudder Fixx to the transmission soon, which is what I plan to do. That's it, guys. All right, out here driving again, testing it. The shutter has been gone for hours. Not sure what to say about that. Not sure if it'll return, but as you can see, I'm in 4th gear right now. If I accelerate up a little bit, it's gonna jump to 5th. This is normally where it was shuttering. It was a new development because it was starting to shutter in 5th. Before, it only would shutter in 6th gear. But now, the shutter has gone away. I did not put Instant Shudder Fixx back in this transmission after changing the fluid and the filter. Now, I realize that Instant Shudder Fixx is somewhere in there still because I didn't get every last drop of the old fluid out. That's kind of tough to do unless you do the flushing system. As long as I don't have any issues, I'll go back in there right around 210,000 miles and I will give it another changeover with fresh fluid, and that should flush most of that other fluid out that was sitting in the torque converter, I think. but we shall see. So that's 14,000 miles of transmission fluid. Yeah, not much pinkness or redness to it. Wow. All right, here's the moment of truth. I don't know what's gonna happen. Here we are. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, quick update here. About 100 miles ago, I felt the shudder again. And I wasn't sure if it was the road, if it was the shudder, but it looks like the shudder has returned. I just want to show you guys the mileage right here so you see. Not sure what's going to happen next, but just wanted to make that quick report. So I just had to punch the accelerator to overtake this semi-truck that was crowding both lanes, or straddling the lanes, and now my check engine light is flashing again. Anyway, I'm on my way back to my house because I have a 2023 Lincoln Navigator sitting in the driveway. Just had the transmission fluid and filter changed. I just picked it up from the shop. My mechanic drove it around for a little while, and he mentioned how rough it was coming out of third gear, going into fourth gear. Of course, we already had discussed it before. I told him my main purpose is to get rid of the shudder. We did not put any additives or anything in it, just the straight transmission fluid and filter change, okay? So here is the odometer reading. Just want to make sure you guys see it clearly. All right, everyone, quick update, and it's not a good one. Sixth gear is now acting up pretty bad with this transmission. So if I try to push it or accelerate while it's in sixth gear, the engine light will come on. The service engine light will start to flash. It's not good. So here we are, 261,000, and it looks like it's over. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but if you just press that minus key there, which I've known this for a while, if you press the minus key, you'll see that the sixth gear becomes kind of grayed out, so it will not climb to the sixth gear. It'll just stop at the fifth gear. Really shouldn't drive and film, I know, but there's no other way for me to show it to you guys. So no matter what, it will not go into the sixth gear, but it still doesn't change the fact that I have a problem, that this transmission either needs to be fixed or I need to just let the car go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Things were not easy, but today makes 5 years since putting Instant Shudder Fixx in this transmission at 110,000 miles. So here we are, literally 151,000 miles later, and now I'm having to face this problem head on. But either way, we are here. Things keep happening to keep me with this vehicle. Right, this Navigator has 261,000. This is what the spark plug looks like. It came out of Focus, but yeah, it came out of this one. It doesn't look good at all. Fortunately, I do have the replacements here. My not so trustworthy mechanic who replaced these valve covers told me that he was going to change the plugs on top of doing that. I specifically asked him because I said, oh man, I need to do that. And he said, don't worry about it, I got it covered. Well, as you can see, he did not do that. But look at that plug. It looks like garbage. Let me show you what the new one looks like. All right, here's the new one. So just to give you guys a side-by-side there. Look at that thing. SP580X, okay? If I am the only one who's ever given this vehicle a tune-up, personally, I am embarrassed to tell you all right now that this vehicle has not had a tune-up in 183,000 miles. So the last time I did it was 78,000 miles. Just before hitting 79,000 miles, I did a tune-up. And right now, the mileage on this vehicle, actually, I'll check it for you. Hang on. Read it and weep. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm going to try using Instant Shudder Fixx one last time, and we're gonna see what happens. I did the tune-up last night. It did not work out as quickly as I had planned or hoped. Car's been jerking a lot, and I kind of want to call it, but something is telling me that if I I do this, I may buy a little bit more time. My son will continue to drive the car, and we will collect more data for the community here on this channel. Quick update, people. I put Instant Shudder Fixx back in the transmission. It was a little bit low in fluid as well, so I added about 1.5 quarts, maybe almost 2 quarts. But I put a little bit of Instant Shudder Fixx in it, and for now it seems to be doing okay, but I'm going to keep on driving it so we can see. But there is the mileage, and yeah, we'll see. As today is January 18th, just want to let you know up front that I have already filmed some other videos, but I kind of went off on tangents in those videos, and I know you guys don't want to hear that stuff. You want just the facts, so I'm going to give you the facts right now. Today's January 18th. The transmission is operating as it should because I went back to putting a little bit of Instant Shudder Fixx in the transmission. What I'm about to do right now is change the transmission drain / fill plug on the 6R80 transmission. I'm going to show that to you as soon as I go under here and pull it. Okay, show you guys something here. You see, now there's the drain plug. I'm upside down basically, but that's the drain plug, or whatever, the fill drain plug for the transmission for the 6R80. As soon as I got under here a week ago to pull this thing and check it, I noticed right away that something was different. And then when I pulled it out, I noticed this other piece. So then I see this. So I take that thing out and I see this, and right away I knew that the guy, and like I said, this is why I'm doing this video again, but this thing was in there, okay? This was in there just sitting inside of my transmission. Naturally, I was pretty upset by this because, you know, I trusted this guy to do the work. So here I am complaining again, but I just can't help myself. But anyway, I'm taking that out, a replacement for mine. Mine had a tan dipstick. So anyway, here we go. I'm gonna go on and pull it out, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about my thoughts on this. Okay, so there you have it. I screwed this thing down in there. It's not good to overfill your transmission with fluid, so I'm gonna take a little bit of it out. Part of me feels like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put this thing back the way it was because it's been driving really good. So I'm just gonna put this new thing in here. Fortunately, it works. I was able to screw it all the way down by hand. Now I'll just tighten it up. I'm using a dog bone, and I'm using the number 19 on it. So, yeah, that's it. So we are done here. All right, we're good to go. That's good. Okay, so this is how he had it in there. Now tell me that you wouldn't be a bit irritated knowing how it was before. Maybe it was just an honest mistake on his part, but either way, I didn't have time to go back over there, and here it is. I mean, I don't know. This was sticking out from the top, which is kind of strange. But anyway, that's how he had it. That is wrong. You don't want to see that in there.
So you're going to squeeze this down into that hole? Huh?
Yeah. God, that fluid does not look good. Once again, if I didn't say it already, I think it's a 19 millimeter socket that you need to put on there. Okay, and here's what I was using before that you saw in the other videos, and here's what I got to replace it. And I got this at Walmart. But yeah, these things here, what happens is if you don't stay on top of it or clean it out, what happens is after a while these seals start to go bad and it doesn't have the proper suction to pull the fluid anymore. So the syringe just doesn't really work as well. The pump doesn't work as well. So that's something to be mindful of if you're gonna use that. And I was just using that just to have something to hold it in. I don't like reuse these things. I use only the Mercon LV. The other thing that I want to mention to you guys really quick is when you're doing this work, make sure you're working on a relatively cold or cool transmission or engine, because that catalytic converter and that pipe, the exhaust is right there by the transmission. You can easily and quickly burn yourself, and so don't hurt yourselves. Make sure you have some eyewear, some safety goggles or something on. Thanks for watching.